To me, the natural world moves at the speed of the clouds. When a deer looks up, I think it immediately can see the clouds moving. Whereas we have to look at it for a second and then go, oh, okay, there it goes. Now I see it's moving. It's moving slow. This is moving slower than we're at. You know what I mean? And we've lost touch with that because we're all stuck in cities. And I'm guilty of that as well. You know? But I think there's a lot to learn from that. If you're able to sit in a meditative state of mind and observe a wild animal, I think there's a lot to understand about how life is supposed to work. You know? It's like a bird will just respond. It's responding moment to moment. It's not really sweating anything in particular. It's got its guard up. I don't know, there's something about that. They're just kind of going about their day. They're not conceptualizing everything as it's happening. When you come back to like the speed of nature, you realize that really we were meant to kind of live like the animals, just spend part of our day getting our food together, spend part of our day hanging out with each other, you know? And you got a lot of your day where you can just live and breathe, and that's fine. You know, there's not more that we were really designed to do other than just live. You know, rural people really understand that. You know, there's no downtime. You're just living your life. You know, you don't have to be doing something all the time. I don't know. It's one of those things. This culture sure doesn't teach us to just enjoy our downtime. Why can't every day have a little bit of a vacation in it? And a lot of work too, you know, every day. That makes more sense to me. There's been times when I've had jobs where I wasn't drawing, you know, but I still came home and would make drawings or work on art projects, you know, draw on the grip tape of my skateboards or whatever, you know, that kind of stuff. It's just always something I've done. So I started in New Mexico when I was still going to college. It was just before I started an architecture major at the University of New Mexico. I got a scholarship because I was in the top 10% of my high school class. It was kind of a surprise at the time, which was cool, you know, but I wasn't really tripping on it. I remember I'd go to, there was like an evening architecture studio, and I would go do that, and I'd have my clothes on to go paint graffiti, you know, and my fellow students would be like, what are you doing tonight, Mike? And I'm going to go paint graffiti. What? That's crazy, dude. What are you thinking? No, I do it all the time. Fourth year of college, I got offered a job doing graphics full-time for Think Skateboards here in San Francisco, so I just left school. I asked my professors about it, and they were just like, yeah, go have fun, man. Get nuts. Architecture's an old man's profession. Come back. Once I started writing graffiti in 1989, I was using Sharpies pretty much exclusively in my black books, my like graffiti sketchbooks. And the way that I draw and the process hasn't changed much since then, you know? But before that it was still a lot of experimentation. But once I started doing graffiti, it was like I had an application for all this stuff that I'd kind of learned, you know? It's like when you're doing math in high school and you're just like, when the fuck am I going to use this in real life, man? You know? What is this algebraic bullshit? And it was kind of the same for me with like art on some level. It was just this hobby thing, but graffiti gave it meaning. You know, it was like you want to excel at it, you know? And that's when I think I really started to push, you know? just kind of making pictures before that as a kid, as your kid's supposed to. For a lot of people, graffiti really saved their ass too. They were into heavy crime and got into graffiti, and again it gave them a kind of you know, like a focus for that energy, you know. It wasn't as bad as like stealing cars or burning places down, you know, shit like that. Early in the morning, usually there's that time where I'm recollecting what I was working on the day before. And like this morning, when the image of this drawing came to mind, it was like, oh yeah, great, I get to work on that today. Awesome, you know? It's fun. But sometimes it's like, oh, I gotta finish that damn thing for that client. Fuck. Alright, get that done and then I can draw my fun thing. You know? I have no complaints at all. None at all. I'm living the fucking dream. At least my dream. You guys think this looks pretty metal? I think this looks pretty metal.
Yeah.
It's certainly not hip hop.
Looks pretty metal.
It's pretty metal. Yeah, let's go with that. Definitely. This has got like, this sounds like Wagner to me, you know? It's funny, I've been in foreign countries and ran out of my Sharpies and I couldn't find them. It was funny. In Amsterdam, I could not find Sharpies. I had to get them brought out when a friend came to visit. I had her buy me a bunch of boxes of them. But in America, at least, I can walk into damn near anywhere, most gas stations even, and they got a box of Sharpies somewhere. I'm back in business. You know, if I can make a mark right there and run my hand over it, didn't leave anything, nothing at all. You know, that's an amazing art tool as far as I'm concerned. Pretty underrated. What started in just graffiti sketchbooks, you know, to then use the same material on a drawing like this that I could show in a fine art situation, that's kind of a trip to me, you know. I mean, it certainly proves that how important is the medium really to how well you use it, you know. I'm colorblind. So, you know, just working in black and white is just easy for my eyes. It makes sense. Just because I've been working on canvases the last few days, I'm not even conscious of that, really. Just all that, you know. And like tattoos are another thing that it's just so, it requires so much stuff just to get a tattoo on somebody. You know, all kinds of equipment. A lot of it has to be sterilized, you know, the stuff that touches the skin or that you touch, all that shit's got to be clean. And, I don't know, it's just, it can be a pain in the ass. To come back to working with a Sharpie on paper like this is a welcome, you know, relaxation. I think as a graffiti artist, I had to learn how to move quickly with my art medium. And that one, spray paint, you know? And so there's merit in being able to control a spray that's coming out really hard and fast because you're able to do a lot of work really fast. And that really counts for a lot when you're worried about the cops and stuff. And I think that kind of efficiency has pervaded the way that I work in general. But it's the same if I'm out doing graffiti with somebody and I'm done with my piece and they're barely halfway done with theirs, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck, man? Now, like, it's my ass. If I'm gonna get caught because your ass is slow, that sucks, right? You know? Get on it. That's like a professional courtesy. You know? Keep up. people take cigarette breaks and stuff, and lollygag and talk on the fucking phone, and that shit drives me crazy. I try to get it done in one pass, but I stay in the moment and I work it out, and I don't waste any ink, and I just do it and get it done. Straight through, no fucking around. But a lot of people fuck around. You know what I mean? It's just a different way of working. Making art isn't making good use of your time as far as our culture is concerned. You know what I mean? Something you do on the weekends is a hobby. You know? You don't do it for a job. You know? But if you do it for a job and you do it good, they love you. You know? It's funny. It's like you've got balls. You've figured it out, you know, the secret. But really, it's just doing it, you know. I want to be remembered, you know. I know that I'm mortal. I feel like this is my ticket, kind of. I need to take advantage of that, you know.